if you are going out for longer periods of time, you do need to get a pet sitter. You do need to take them to a doggy daycare. On top of the financials that you have to think about, what are some of the things that you should be asking those people about, like how they're going to care for the dog, or what should you be expecting from them?
That's my favorite question I think you've asked since we've been doing these podcasts, because it's not a question that
Yes.
gets asked that often. How do you vet your caretakers? And it's really important to make sure that you're not hiring someone that is a layman trainer, for instance. A lot of layman trainers will use methods that are outdated. They don't have to continue their education. So there's things that could be unfortunate. Now, you do want to hire someone, though, that's experienced. You don't want to just hire the college student across the street because they need to pick up some extra bucks. You do want to hire a professional to take your dog out because you want to make sure that they know what to do in certain circumstances when you're out. And let's say an off-leash dog comes running up to you and your dog is on leash with them. How do you handle that situation? So you want to make sure that they know how to handle those properly. You also want to ask, how many dogs do you walk at a time? Here in LA, you see the 15 dogs on leash, and that's scary to me. That's really scary, because what happens if one of those leashes fail? So let's say there's enough tension in one of those leashes, and it happens, especially leather leashes, they'll eventually get brittle enough to where they fail. What happens when one of those leashes fails or a dog slips out of a harness and takes off? So how do you deal with the other 14 dogs while one dog is running off? Or if an off-leash dog runs up to your group, how do you handle that? You can't pick up all 15 dogs. So I prefer to have my dog being the only dog walked when the dog walker takes our dog, or pet sitting for that matter. You want to make sure that you're asking them, you're not bringing another dog into my home, and so forth. So you want to make sure that when you hire someone, their attention 100% is on your dog and not something else.
What about if you have family members who are watching the dog and they've been around dogs before, but, they're not experts? How can you work with
Yeah,
them?
making sure that your family is familiar with your dog. That would be a dog walker too. So if you're actually paying someone to come take care of your dog, you want to make sure that they meet first. And that's actually a red flag. If a dog walker doesn't want to meet your dog and they just want to start dog walking right away, I typically wouldn't hire that person. I would want someone to do a meet and greet first. So they come over, they meet your dog. You maybe go on a couple of walks with them first before they start, because you want to make sure that your dog is comfortable with that person. And same with family. You want to make sure that your dog knows and trusts that person to go on a walk with, because otherwise it can start to create reactivity. So those are questions that you want to ask even your family members. How comfortable are you walking dogs? And if they're like, I don't know if I'm really comfortable, but I really want to do you a favor, they may not be the best option. And it's hard to say no to family members, but sometimes the easiest turns out to be the hardest, because if they don't know how to handle a dog on leash and something happens, all of a sudden, your convenience just got outweighed by something unfortunate happening.
Hey, everybody, if you like this, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss any of this awesome content.